From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Good morning and happy Monday, security gang. Welcome to another exciting episode of the CyberHub Podcast Practitioner Brief. I hope you had a great, relaxing, enjoyable weekend as much as humanly possible. It was a chilly one this weekend. Congratulations to anyone from Kansas City who's tuning in, and the Kansas City Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl. A very exciting time for the Midwest and definitely for the folks over in Kansas City. So congratulations to them, and a battle well fought by the Eagles. But as a diehard Niners fan, I was happy to see Kansas City win. So we'll take that at that. We've got a very, very packed show today. Many data breaches, ransomware attacks, as well as vulnerabilities are on the horizon for many practitioners. For everyone tuning in this morning, however, it'd be remiss of me to remind y'all that tomorrow's February 14th. And you'd say, James, why do we need to know that? For those who seem to forget, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So make sure you get your significant other a nice little gift, take them out to dinner, spoil them, cook, whatever it is that you want to do for your significant other. Make sure you do that tomorrow. So let's grab our cups of coffee this morning, and coffee cup cheers, y'all. CyberHubPodcast.com. Find all the latest. Subscribe. Go check out our YouTube channel, CyberHubPodcast.com. We'll start with Pepsi Bottling Ventures suffering a data breach after a malware attack. So Pepsi Bottling Ventures is the largest bottler of Pepsi Cola beverages in the U.S. They're responsible for manufacturing, selling, and distributing most of the popular consumer brands that Pepsi has. They've got 18 facilities between North and South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. In a sample incident report filed with the Montana Attorney General's office, the company explained that the breach occurred on December 23rd. Hence, look at the dates here, folks. But it wasn't until January 10th, or 18 days later, that it was discovered, with remediation taking even longer. Now, I'm going to point this out for a lot of practitioners because I think this is really, really important, because a lot of times the business will tell security, hey, you guys we're going to take our foot off the gas for the holidays, right? And so the breach itself occurred day before Christmas and really wasn't detected until people were fully back at work, meaning chances are in the 18 days between the infection and the discovery, many people were on vacation. The expertise weren't in-house. And this is why, as practitioners, we have to kind of look at these times and go, do I find an external partner that can do the 365 monitoring? Maybe my team doesn't, etc. I'm not sure what was here. And the setup at Pepsi, so I'm not judging them. I'm not saying this from a first point of knowledge. I'm just saying that this is common. We always say Friday afternoons are the worst, or days before holidays, and this just proves that. So the information that was impacted: full name, home address, financial account information, passwords, PINs, and access numbers, state and federal government issued ID numbers and driver's license numbers, ID cards, social security numbers, passport information, digital signatures, and information related to benefits and employments, including health insurance claims and medical history. In response to the incident, Pepsi Bottling Venture is adding additional security measures. They've reset passwords and informed law enforcement, but you can obviously tell that this was a significant breach for Pepsi. We'll talk about these ESXi servers that we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks. There's about 18,581 servers that are still vulnerable to the 2-year vulnerability that has yet to be patched. So remember Log4j, remember many of the other ones. Well, here's another one where it still hasn't been patched yet. And patching isn't easy, but nonetheless, it's a 2-year-old patch. The excuses are out the door here. In an additional incident here, NameCheap's email has been hacked to send MetaMask and DHL phishing emails. The domain registrar NameCheap had their email account breached Sunday night, causing a flood of MetaMask and DHL phishing emails that attempted to steal recipients' personal information and cryptocurrency wallets. The phishing campaign, which started around 4:30 p.m. yesterday, originated from SendGrid, the email platform used by NameCheap to send renewal notices and marketing emails. After recipients began complaining on Twitter, NameCheap CEO Richard Kirkhandel confirmed that the account was compromised and the disabled email through SendGrid while they investigated the issue. A flood of phishing emails that was sent out by impersonating either DHL or MetaMask. The DHL phishing email pretended to be a bill for a delivery fee required to complete the delivery of a package. While Bleeping Computer did not receive the email, they were told that the embedded link leads to a phishing page attempting to steal the target information. For its sake, NameCheap blames upstream systems for the event. They're saying we have evidence that the upstream system we use for sending emails is involved in the mailing of unsolicited emails to our clients. As a result, some unauthorized emails might have been received by you. Would like to assure you that the systems were not breached. Your products, accounts, and personal information remain secure. So this appears to be more of an IT issue than anything else here, folks. So NameCheap saying it wasn't an issue, but nonetheless, it appears to be similar. OneNote, last week I reported on this, that OneNote is now replacing Word and Excel with the macros as a malware delivery system. And now we've seen a significant uptick in using OneNote for malware delivery. It's used for note taking and task management. For those who don't know, it's now being used as another method to deliver malware, especially since macros have been disabled. And as such, your threat actors are looking for a new way to get in. So there's a few remediations here to this. One, make sure that people can't send OneNote through email or allow only OneNote to come from internally validated information and so forth. So this is a new threat vector, and we'll see how Microsoft responds. But also, as practitioners, you either block OneNote, you'll also only maybe make sure that internally you can only share OneNotes through OneDrive or SharePoint, something along those lines. Devs are still being targeted by a W4SP Stealer malware in PyPi. So the Python package index stealing passwords, Discord authentication cookies, and cryptocurrency wallets from unsuspecting developers. The repository for Python programming hosts about 200,000 packages. These 5 malicious ones are trying to steal a whole lot of information from developers. The 5 packages were 3M Premo Gen API, AI Solver Gen, High Pixel Coins, HTTPX Request ERV2, and HTTPX Requester. Again, hundreds of downloads on each. So not significant, but they're hiding a password stealer. They're going after the developers, and that's why policy here matters. DevSecOps here definitely matters, and you want to make sure you're communicating this to your developer. You're talking to your engineering team, etc., on using the right PyPi packages, making sure that maybe you have a champion within those teams that's able to validate those as well. The Reddit hack shows the limits of multi-factor authentication. So a tailored spear phishing campaign that successfully convinced a Reddit employee to hand over their credentials and their one-time password worked and allowed the attackers to get in. This happened on January 9th when Reddit issued the notice. But now they're saying that, well, because of the employee training, actually being trained on the fact that something was fishy there, he notified security, and the event was much smaller, had a less of an impact than had the threat actor been able to move laterally within the environment and gain so forth. And the attacker was also limited to the kind of permissions and role and access that one employee had, which wasn't very, very long. So, and he didn't have access to everything. But this technique, again, MFA fatigue, MFA is just one option, but it's part of a defense in-depth strategy. You definitely want to look at it and understand it. But because the attackers are now essentially stealing credentials, stealing the two-factor, and then automatically logging in, that's something to keep in mind as well. And again, I'm rushing through these because we had a lot of stories this morning. Israel's Technion University suffered a ransomware attack yesterday, which forced the university to proactively block all communication networks. A new group calling itself Darkbit claimed responsibility for the attack. They're kind of unknown. Their letter was a bit anti-Semitic in nature against the Technion, and it's actually very confusing. So they're saying don't lay off tech workers, but then also you're an apartheid government. So nonetheless, they're demanding 80 bitcoins, around $1.8 million as ransom from the university. The group said the ransom will go up by 30% if it's not received within 3 days. So there's a whole slew of information going back and forth. The INCD is on the case there as well. Darkbit seems to be politically motivated. They're kind of an unknown group. Not really sure where they're coming from and how they got into the scene, but nonetheless, the Technion is essentially the MIT for Israel. It's one of the top research schools and one of the top technology schools in the country. So we'll keep you in the loop as to how this story breaks down and who these guys are if their identities become known. Group IB is claiming that it was repeatedly targeted by a threat actor believed to be linked to the Chinese government. Group IB, the Singaporean cybersecurity firm, said it was targeted by an APT Karma Panda. I'm not going to give all the other names. The most recent attack was detected in June of 2022, but analysis revealed that Tonto team also targeted the cybersecurity firm in 2021. The attack aimed at Group IB involved emails carrying malicious attachments being sent to the company's employees. The Tonto team is believed to have been around since at least 2009, targeting military, diplomatic, and infrastructure entities in Asia and Eastern Europe. They've often targeted Russian organizations, including government agencies. Group IB, which is based in Singapore, it's a Russian company at heart, though. Last year, a few months after Russia launched its invasion of the Ukraine, that it would Group IB announced that it would separate its Russian and international businesses into distinct companies. An analysis of the incident revealed that the attackers attempted to use the Bisinol Double T backdoor, which appears to be exclusively used by the Tonto group. The firm checked its logs, found evidence of another email attack likely carried out by the same group 1 year earlier. The main goal of the Chinese APT is espionage and IP theft. Undoubtedly, they'll keep probing companies according to Group IB, but just shows you cybersecurity firms are no strangers to nation-state attacks. And it's a good question to ask your security partners. How are you guys dealing with those as well? That's it for our show this morning. You can catch all the latest at cyberhubpodcast.com. Tomorrow, a brand new episode of CISO Talk will be coming live with my good friend Ken Foster, the VP of GRC over at FleetCor. And so a great episode. You don't want to miss it. A lot of very good nuggets coming from Ken Foster. So tomorrow, 11 a.m. We'll be back here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, live with all the latest. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Enjoy this week. Let this Monday power you on. There's nothing more exciting than starting. Have a great rest of your day. And most importantly, team, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.